So, like I explained to my mom, so this picture was taken just recently, and based on the algorithms, it was specifically in a category of my memory card on my PS Vita, and it created a number 404, and then you got 411. All right. So then again, the numbers here, you see the numbers how it totaled up to 722. The numbers I keep coming across constantly, and 737 and 73. All right. So I talked to my mom about the place we're moving to. She said that we're gonna move to these motels, but she said she doesn't know exactly. She never gave me a straightforward answer for deciding what hotel she's going to exactly. And I'm saying, what location are you going to? She says that she haven't booked a motel yet. All right, and she haven't talked to the people in the motel, explaining how long you can stay there. And she just say, "Oh, we just when we get there, we'll figure. When we get there, we just figure it out about that. There, and I'm trying to go get an apartment. What, with that, with a few thousands, you trying to get an apartment? She's not telling me. Why is it that my mom is being very secretive and not informing me about where I just found that aside, you know, this paper aside. I just took it aside while she was not looking. All right, and I stick the paper in my pocket to actually see what she's doing here and what she's searching up. And I'm looking at the reviews, but I still seem to not be able to get any answer from the reviews because it didn't, and not only that, the page itself, the website, telling me how long you can stay here, if you can stay for a long time. It doesn't state that, and it doesn't look like that. And like I said to my mother today, was explaining. The more I explain, she keeps saying, "You talk like a girl. Why are you talking? You see, this is the reason why people don't want to be a talk." And then she brings up the past about my father in New York City, how my father kicked me out because everybody thinks the same exact way about me. They think alike about me. They all have personal issues with me. Like I said, I was a high school student at the time when these things happened, when these things occurred, and how people gang up on me and start saying all these personal things. And I'm just tired. I just came from at least a 1 hour ride from school, and spending all these hours in school, and I'm just tired. And I was sitting down, and people. I have my father, girlfriend, and my father just going at it with me. So I'm gonna create a separate video about that. So entirely, when I ask her about it, she keeps skipping out, trying to make up for it by telling me, "Oh, you want to stay here? I'm not gonna stay here. I'm not gonna stay here and walk all those streets. Oh, you're gonna stay here, and this is 7 years. This is 7 years. This is 7 years. 7 years." She keeps the way she. I never seen her so worked up. She's not calm when she's talking to me. She's very worked up by my responses, and never is not cooperating with my responses. Just like Stacy, when I talked about Stacy, how I talked about a particular thing, and she just said she wants to hear from, she wants to hear mine when I was trying to get answers from her, and I'm trying to get answers from my mom, and my mom is not giving me an answer. She's not telling me exactly where she's going in New York City, staying in New York City, especially at the motel. All right, but when we was in Bronx, living in the Bronx shelter, she explained. Me and her sat down and we explained to one another where we were gonna stay, and we had book, and then she comes back to finding one particular thing, such as Orlando. Oh, we was gonna go to Orlando, days in at Orlando, and we changed to go to Kissimmee because you said that the place has a lot of prostitutes. Of course, because Dazen is actually in a location where you're you're stranded, where you need a car. You need a car to in order to get around there. You're basically stranded near a freeway. All right, and there's a lot of prostitution going on over there, and that's not a place for us or Christina, my sister. All right, so I tried finding the most suitable place as it is. So I found Home Sweet Home in a different location, but my mom said get it in this location, Home Sweet Home. So we put it for the location near the tourist section. If we leave this place, like I said, we have a nice room here, but the problem here is we lasted longer in this place than in New York City. I didn't last long in New York City, and she didn't last long in New York City by means with the people around her. She ended up getting kicked out their first place. Me and her ended up getting, my sister ended up getting kicked out in the very first place. The very first place we stayed at in a family house, which is Aunt B house, my 96 or 97-year-old aunt. We ended up getting kicked out. All right. So she ended up later on getting kicked out, and I got kicked out first because the cousin wanted me out. So she made up a story saying I have a knife, and then she later on she made up a story about my sisters to get her out of there. And my mom ended up living with Shane, and they all ended up ganging up on her and saying personal things and saying why you in my daughter's room. Their cousin boyfriend saying why you in my husband like saying why you in my daughter's room and keep bugging her and keep making sure to keep approaching her with that same word so she could get irritated so she can leave, and she ended up living in a motel. For me, I ended up living with my father, and my father had approached me the same exact way as how other people approached me, and his girlfriend ended up calling the cops on me, saying I'm talking back to her, and I didn't say anything back to her. I was minding my business. She sat down. She said I'm a decent person. Then all of a sudden, she started spitting all over the mirror, telling me she started saying that I'm spitting all over the mirror, and I never did. Started just creating situations so it can, so she can find a reason to get me out of there. They don't want me there in the very first place. No matter where I go, school, everybody does the same exact thing. Pretty much it. They think alike, and they all start to have personal issues. First, they would have one person would have a personal issue with me. Then the next person they talk to would have the same personal issue with me. I never talked to them. They're offended by someone who never talked to them before, and yet, you know, in school, and yet they seem to all have the same idea about me incorrectly, and that's an advantage. They use that as advantage by teachers and students in a position being put in a position in school advantage. And when I do have that advantage, start really going and get it. I'm a New York City. New York City. I barely talk to the people, you know, such as the kid in my class. So then again, my mom is not allowing me to know exactly where she's going. I had to look at the paper. I had to force myself to look at the paper and see and look up, search where she's going. She still don't know exactly where she's going, and she booked it. And this morning, she wanted to prove that we are definitely going there by calling the Amtrak train and stated she had stated that they had got my last name wrong because it was Warren. They said that my last name is Warren, but it's not Warren. So Warren would be incorrect. She had corrected. She had told him to correct it. It wasn't Warren. To know that they got my last name wrong, it's a direct message. It sends a message there. And also what she did there, that yeah, we're gonna leave this place and we're gonna be stuck in another predicament because you're not gonna last long in such a big city where there's not a lot of homeless people living in motels, and there's only regular people living in the hotels and going in and out the motel, and we're the only ones without no home, and you have a very small amount of money. You just want to go there because you're desperate. You're very desperate to leave this place because the way it's being managed. It's people. It's influenced by people, and she's tired of that. And she's unconsciously tired of it, but she doesn't know how to speak it. She has difficulties. She has difficulties based on her social awareness. Her social awareness is extremely poor. My sisters too. Actually, every single person that's being managed here has bad social awareness. So they simply socially depend on one another entirely. By means in thoughts, not independently think for themselves like me. Independently think. I have an independent thinking. They have a social dependent thinking. I have an independent thinking, and I work with it entirely based on my reaction to the environment and based on what I've experienced in the past. So you can look at these hotels that she wanted to stay in. They're trying to bring me back to New York City. Why is that the multi-agent artificial intelligence, you know, created dreams when I was a little kid, telling me that I'm gonna be homeless on the street, and I end up getting intense headache, constantly. It's not supposed to be managing humanity. That's man. It's a quantum computer, a program inside a quantum computer, and a software engineers are managing humanity. That's illegal. That's illegal. That's not even a pension. You can try creating a pension. That's not enough because they know the rules of pension, so they can always find a way to have an advantage. So a pension wouldn't do. You have to use the word properly. By means saying manage. It's managing humanity, and that's illegal. That's all human beings on this planet. Every human citizen on this planet is being managed. All right. So they're trying to put me back. So if the multi-agent quantum artificial intelligence can put me back in this location, that can take advantage of me. It can take advantage over me, and it can bring back. It can make sure to bring the people, make sure that there's certain people, bring out certain people at that particular day that we know, so they can see us, and so they can get them to start talking about us, and so we can end up being near them. All right, change. That's how they change. That's how the multi-agent quantum artificial intelligence software engineers are able to create a fake mentality for people. It creates a fake mentality. Their mentality. I learned that their mentality is fake. Each day they're not. They're never themselves. Each day they're a new person. Each day my mother is a new person. Each day my sister is a new person. Each day the person that I met is a new person. They don't behave the same as the way they did the day after. It's different. It's different. The day after and the day before. The day before, and after that, it's different. Before and after is different. Both of them are different, and it always changes constantly. There's always a change to their behavior constantly each day. And I'm looking at this paper right now, and I'm just saying to myself, "Wow, $737 and 773." And there's no one to talk to about what she did. You know what she's doing now. There's no one. There's no family members. She said to me that every single person that we know had turned against had something against me, but yet she had something had said the same exact thing about me in a bad way, and yet how every single person. The problem is how I graduated school. You know, near to the end of school, more like 11th grade. How all these things happened during 11th grade. Near to the time, by means 11th grade. 11th grade, near to the time I was finishing 11th grade, that my mom runs out of unemployment, and 12th grade, I end up living with my father, and all these things happened simultaneously at me, and I'm trying to focus on my schoolwork, and also, my father and strangers that I don't know are ganging up on me, and my mom is going through a lot of things. All these things happen in New York City, and we was not able to last long in New York City. We were able to last longer here. We managed to last longer in Florida without even being in a shelter. My mom and I couldn't even manage in New York City. It's ridiculous. I'm just looking at this paper and just saying, wow, this is how the multi-agent quantum artificial intelligence wanted. Just like how I stated in my dream as a child. Spam all these dreams about me living in a motel, being homeless in the street, me sleeping on top of one of the trains, the train station. Yes, one day I created a dream. Was it 2012? Yeah. Was it fall 2012? Fall 2012, I created a dream where I was sleeping on top of some sort of train station. The train was underneath me, and I was sleeping on top of the some sort of shed, on top of some sort of shed or so. Was it bricks or shed? And I was alone, and I'm just looking at the sky, and just very depressed. And everybody's passing by because, like I said, no matter how I look at it, it's influenced by people. They simply do not know. They simply are not socially aware of their actions. In other words, they're socially aware of someone's actions before they even encountered them. This is which means they're socially dependent. That's what it means. They're not independently thinking. That's a big problem there. That's problematic. being being don't knowing that I had so many dreams, constant headaches. So I would have headaches. I would after finishing the baby coming after finishing leaving from the babysitter. Each time I left the babysitter, my mom picked me up. My mom would pick me up, and I left the babysitter. I would just get these intense headaches that would last for 3 days. Intense headaches, intense headaches, intense headaches. My headache would be very intense. All right, it's 2:37 p.m. My headaches would be very intense, and it will last for at least 3 to 4 days. Pretty much, it would start first from either sleeping into a headache or just getting a headache during the evening time. And I was saying to myself, why am I getting a headache during the evening time? You know, why is that I'm getting a headache during the evening time? Every evening at that exact moment, at that exact time, that means I get a headache and I won't go away for the past 3 days. Ridiculous. And I'm getting a whole bunch of dreams, like probably 10, probably around 7 or 10 dreams as a child. And I would wake up every midnight morning, and I would have these negative thoughts. I'm not even thinking. Some of the thoughts that I even had was not, I wasn't thinking negative at that time because I simply don't know exactly the things that I was saying, you know. So I would have thoughts about me being homeless. I didn't know what homeless means at the time as a child. I just keep having the thought homeless or being a bum on the street, and every single person, the image showed, the image showed every single person passing by me, and they're not staring me in the face. They simply don't. They see me as transparent, and I'm just they're sitting on the side, looking at people going back and forth, and I'm just sitting on the side. I simply don't know. I simply try talking to the people. They simply don't. They see me as transparent. That's it. Transparent would be the best word terminology, not a ghost. Transparent. They see me as transparent. They they see a transparent awareness of me. That's it. It's that they've been reprogrammed at that particular time to see me as transparent. Start talking, doesn't matter. What matters is that I possess such great knowledge. Because being on the streets would be worse for me because I have such knowledge. So the multi-agent artificial intelligence can take advantage. I was in the streets in New York City after my father got kicked me out. All right, I'm done with this video.